Pisces, get ready. A person with strong status, confidence, or public recognition is moving into your energy. This could become one of the most significant connections you've had. So I have to stop and apologize to you right now because what I'm seeing in your energy is something I genuinely did not expect to find when I tuned in for this reading. I was preparing to deliver a standard reading for you, and then this hit me like a wave I wasn't braced for. Something extraordinary is happening in your energetic field right now. Something that doesn't show up for most signs. Something that made me pause and say, wait, I'm sorry, I need a second. Because I need you to understand the magnitude of what's coming before I even begin to explain it to you. A very high profile, very significant, very influential person is about to enter your life. When I say high profile, I don't mean someone who's moderately successful or somewhat known in certain circles. I mean someone whose presence, whose energy, whose level of influence and achievement is going to feel almost overwhelming when they step into your orbit. Someone who operates at a level that most people only read about or watch from a distance, admire from afar, see on a screen, and they're coming directly to you, into your actual life, your actual world, your actual story. Not as a fantasy, not as something you watch happen to someone else. Now, before you dismiss this or tell yourself, I must be talking about someone else, some other sign, some other person entirely, I need you to hear me out completely. The universe doesn't make mistakes with a sign as intuitive as yours. Your energy doesn't lie. You, of all signs, know that better than anyone because you feel things before they happen. You've always felt things before they happen. What I'm seeing around you right now is a very clear, very specific signal that your life is about to intersect with someone extraordinary, someone who has built something significant, someone who carries themselves with a certain authority and gravitas that you're going to feel the moment you're in their presence. The way you feel everything deeply, immediately, without even trying. Someone whose name or whose work or whose reputation precedes them in a way that most people's doesn't. And they're not just passing through your life. They're entering it with intention, with purpose, with a specific reason for being drawn to your energy at this exact moment in time. Here's what I want you to understand. First, the reason this high-profile person is coming into your life is not random. It's not coincidence. It's not some fluke of circumstance or a fluke of timing. They're being pulled toward you because of your energy, because of who you are and what you carry and what you've been quietly building while everyone underestimated you. Because there's something about you that operates at a frequency they recognize and respond to, even if they can't name it right away. Because you have qualities, gifts, and an energy signature that's actually compatible with theirs in ways that are going to become clear once they arrive. You might not see yourself as someone who belongs in the same orbit as a person of this caliber. You might have spent years feeling like you were too sensitive for the big leagues, too dreamy, too soft for rooms full of hard, ambitious people. But the universe sees it clearly, and it's making the connection happen regardless of whatever self-limiting beliefs you might be carrying about whether you're worthy of this level of encounter. Let me tell you who this high-profile person might be, because I'm picking up several different possibilities. Different viewers watching this are going to resonate with different scenarios, depending on where you are in your life right now. For some of you, this is a high-profile figure in your professional industry, someone whose name is known, someone whose accomplishments are significant, someone who's achieved a level of success in their field that others aspire to and quietly envy. This could be a CEO or an executive or an entrepreneur who's built something substantial from nothing. This could be a prominent figure in entertainment or media or the arts, which would make sense given how naturally you're drawn to creative and artistic worlds. This could be a well-known name in music, in film, in fashion, in spirituality and healing, circles, or any number of other fields that intersect with your own dreamy, imaginative nature. They're about to become aware of you. They're about to encounter your work or your energy or your presence. What they find is going to impress them in a way they didn't expect. What they discover about you is going to make them want to connect, want to know more, want to keep you close. For others of you, this high-profile person is someone of significant social influence, someone who's respected in their community or their network in a way that extends far beyond the average person's reach, someone whose word carries weight, whose recommendation opens doors, whose association elevates everyone around them instantly. They're going to extend that influence in your direction. They're going to use their social capital to create opportunities for you, to open doors for you, to bring you into spaces you haven't been able to access on your own, no matter how hard you've tried or how many times you've quietly wished for a way in. The way they do it is going to feel effortless, almost dreamlike, because people at this level of influence don't have to work hard to create opportunities. They simply choose to point their attention towards someone, and everything shifts for that person. For some of you, this high-profile individual is a romantic interest. I know that might sound like the most exciting and also the most unbelievable scenario, especially for a sign like yours that's used to loving deeply, but often from positions of vulnerability rather than power. Energy doesn't operate by rules about who's allowed to be attracted to whom. What I'm seeing for some of you watching this is that someone who exists at a significantly elevated level of public visibility or social status or professional achievement is going to develop a genuine, undeniable interest in you. Not because you were chasing them. You never chase. That's not your nature. Not because you engineered some encounter or manufactured a meeting, but because energy finds its match, regardless of social hierarchies or perceived status differences. Your energy, your particular energy, soft on the surface but bottomless underneath, is magnetic enough, elevated enough, interesting enough to catch the attention of someone who could have their pick of literally anyone they wanted. Out of everyone available to them, they're going to choose to pursue you. Here's what I want you to understand about why a high-profile person is interested in you specifically. People who have achieved significant success or visibility often find that they're surrounded by people who want something from them, people who are attracted to their status rather than to who they actually are underneath it, people who are performing for them rather than being real with them, rather than being present with them. When someone at that level encounters authentic energy, when they meet someone who isn't trying to impress them or use them or strategically position themselves for advantage, when they Encounter someone who's just genuinely, unapologetically themselves, dreamy and emotional and real, in a way most people have trained themselves out of being. It's magnetic. It's refreshing. It's rare. You are that person. Your authenticity, your emotional depth, your lack of desperation or strategy or performance, that's what's going to attract this high-profile person to you. They're not going to be able to explain it fully at first. They're just going to know that you're different, that being around you feels real in a world where very little feels real to them anymore. What I'm also picking up is that this person has been searching for something, not consciously necessarily, but on a soul level. They've been looking for exactly what you offer without quite knowing how to name it. Maybe they've been surrounded by superficiality for so long that they've forgotten what depth even feels like. And they're craving it the way someone craves water after being thirsty without realizing it. Maybe they've been achieving tremendous external success while feeling internally empty, hollow, like none of it actually touches the part of them that needs touching. Maybe they've been lonely in ways that are hard to explain to anyone, because how do you tell people you're lonely when your life looks perfect from the outside, when everyone assumes you have everything? Maybe they've been looking for someone who sees them as a person rather than as their achievements or their reputation or their net worth or their following. You, with your almost otherworldly ability to perceive people beneath their surface, you're going to be that for them. You're going to offer them something no amount of success or status could ever buy. Real connection, real understanding, real presence. That's priceless to someone who has everything except that. Here's how this encounter is likely to happen. For most of you, it's going to feel serendipitous, almost dreamlike, like you happen to be in the right place at the right time. Like a series of seemingly unrelated circumstances conspired quietly behind the scenes to put you in front of this person. Maybe it's through a mutual connection who makes an introduction you didn't see coming. Maybe it's at an event you almost didn't attend, one you nearly talked yourself out of going to. Maybe it's through your work being seen by the right person who then shares it with the right audience, which puts it directly in front of this individual. Maybe it's a chance encounter that doesn't feel like chance at all once you look back at how it actually unfolded. The specific mechanics are going to vary for each of you watching this, but the common thread is that it's going to feel divinely arranged because it is. What happens when you first encounter this person is going to be unforgettable. You're going to feel their energy before you fully understand who they are, the way you feel everything first and understand it second. There's going to be this immediate recognition of something, a sense of this person is different, this person carries something, this person's presence is significant in a way I can feel but can't quite name yet. You're going to respond to that energy in a way that's natural and authentic. You're not going to perform or try too hard or become someone different because you're suddenly aware of who they are. You're just going to be you, dreamy and present and real. Being you is exactly what's going to make them want to know more. They're going to be the one who initiates, who reaches out first, who makes the move to continue the connection beyond that first encounter, because they're used to people wanting them, used to people performing for them. They're not used to someone who isn't obviously trying to win them over. Your ease, your lack of agenda, your genuine naturalness in their presence is going to be what hooks them completely. They're going to walk away from that first interaction thinking about you, wondering about you, replaying the conversation in their mind, wanting to understand why you're different from everyone else. They encounter in their high pressure, high visibility world. That curiosity is going to bring them back to you again and again. Let me talk about what this high-profile person is going to bring into your life beyond just their presence. Because the impact of someone at this level entering your world is significant and multidimensional. First, they're going to bring exposure. Your name, your work, your talents, your creative gifts, whatever you've been quietly building in the background while doubting yourself, is going to suddenly have access to a much larger audience because this person's world is larger than most worlds. When they endorse you or associate themselves with you or simply mention you to their network, the ripple effect is substantial. Doors that have been closed to you are going to open. People who haven't heard of you are going to become aware of you almost overnight. Opportunities that weren't accessible before are going to suddenly be well within reach. Second, they're going to bring perspective. People who've achieved significant things have a way of seeing the world differently than the rest of us. They've navigated challenges most people haven't faced. They've made decisions at a scale most people haven't operated at. Spending time with someone like this is going to expand your thinking in ways you didn't expect. It's going to show you what's possible at levels beyond what you've allowed yourself to imagine. It's going to challenge you in the best way, the way that doesn't feel like pressure, but feels like permission. It's going to make you bigger, more ambitious, more capable, simply by being in close proximity to someone who's already operating at that elevated level. Third, they're going to bring resources. Maybe this means financial resources. Maybe this means connections and introductions that would have taken you years to build on your own. Maybe this means knowledge and wisdom and strategies that have been battle-tested at the highest levels of their field. Maybe this means physical resources or platforms or infrastructure that supports your growth in ways you couldn't access alone. The specific form of resources varies, but high-profile people don't operate on limited resources. When they choose to invest those resources in someone, in you, the impact is transformative. Fourth, and perhaps most importantly, for a sign like yours that has battled self-doubt your entire life, they're going to bring validation of who you are and what you're capable of. When someone who's achieved a significant level of success chooses to associate themselves with you, chooses to spend their time and energy and attention on you specifically, it's confirmation. It's evidence that you are exactly as capable and valuable and significant as you've sometimes allowed yourself to believe in your quietest, most hopeful moments, and sometimes deeply doubted in your darkest ones. That validation from someone who's proven their own discernment through their achievements, that's going to give you a level of confidence in yourself that changes everything about how you show up moving forward. Here's something I want to address directly because I know your sign and I know how your mind works. Some of you are going to feel intimidated when this person enters your life. You're going to feel like maybe you don't belong in their world, like maybe you're out of your depth. Like maybe they're going to discover that you're not as impressive as they initially thought, and they're going to lose interest and disappear the way people sometimes have before. I need you to hear me very clearly about this. Those thoughts are lies. They're imposter syndrome. They're old programming, old wounds, old stories about not being enough that have nothing to do with reality. This person isn't choosing you by accident. They're not going to feel disappointed when they get to know you better. They're going to feel more impressed, more interested, more certain about you the longer they know you, because you actually have depth. You actually have substance. You actually are as interesting and valuable and remarkable as the energy you've always quietly put out into the world, even when no one was responding to it. So when the imposter syndrome comes up, and it will come up, remind yourself of that. You belong in every room you enter, especially this one. What I'm also seeing is that this person is going to be surprisingly normal in ways that surprise you. When you think of high-profile people, you might imagine someone who's unapproachable or pretentious or so wrapped up in their own world that genuine connection feels impossible. Some people at that level really are like that. But the specific person coming into your life isn't. They're grounded, they're self-aware, they have a genuine sense of humor that catches you off guard. They're capable of real vulnerability when they're with someone they trust, which is rare for them. They have insecurities just like everyone else despite everything they've built. They have bad days and doubts and moments where they question themselves, even at the height of their success. As you get to know them beyond the high-profile surface, with that gift you have for seeing past surfaces into what's actually there, you're going to see all of that. You're going to see the human behind the achievement. That human is someone you're going to genuinely connect with. Not because of what they've achieved, but because of who they actually are underneath all of it. Let me tell you what's going to be required of you when this person enters your life. As exciting as this is, it's also going to require you to rise, to show up at a new level, to step into a bigger version of yourself than you've ever had to be before. First, you're going to need to manage your energy carefully. High-profile people have a lot of demands on their attention, a lot of people vying for their time and presence. To maintain a genuine connection with someone like this, you need to be magnetic in a sustainable way, which means you need to be genuinely interesting, genuinely growing, genuinely evolving. Not performing interest or performing growth, but actually being someone who's consistently expanding and becoming more. That's what keeps someone like this engaged long term. Not the chase, but the depth. Second, you're going to need to maintain your authenticity, even when it's tempting not to. The temptation when someone impressive enters your life is to become what you think they want you to be. To mirror their interests, to elevate yourself artificially, to perform a more polished version of yourself than the one they actually fell for. Resist that temptation completely, because what drew them to you in the first place was your realness, your authenticity, the fact that you weren't performing for anyone. Keep being real. Keep being you. Trust that the you they encountered is exactly the you they want to continue knowing. Third, you're going to need to protect your own identity through this connection. It can be easy when someone high profile enters your life, especially for a sign as naturally absorbing and empathic as yours, to let their world swallow yours completely. To become so absorbed in their universe that you lose track of your own path and your own goals and your own identity. Don't let that happen. Stay connected to who you are and what you're building and what matters to you independently of them. Because the most attractive thing about you to this person is your wholeness, your completeness, your sense of self that exists with or without them. Maintain that even as their world expands yours. Fourth, be discerning about what you share and with whom. Not everyone in your life is going to handle this development gracefully. Some people are going to be genuinely excited for you. Others are going to project jealousy or skepticism onto the situation. Others are going to have opinions about whether this person is trustworthy or whether you should even be involved with them at all. You need to be selective about who you share this with, who you allow to comment on it, who you give access to the details of what's developing. Protect this connection from external interference early on while it's still fragile and new. Here's what's going to unfold over the next several weeks. The initial encounter is going to leave both of you wanting to know more about each other. There's going to be a period of getting acquainted, of discovering who the other person really is beneath the first impression, of conversations that go deeper than either of you expected them to. Moments where you both realize that what you initially felt when you met wasn't just surface attraction or surface intrigue. It was real recognition, the kind that doesn't happen often, the kind that happens when two people who are actually meant to intersect finally do. Then something is going to shift. The dynamic is going to deepen. What started as an interesting connection is going to become something more significant, something more invested, something where both of you are actively choosing to make time for each other in lives that are busy and full and pulled in 100 directions. That choice, that intentional prioritization of each other in the midst of everything else demanding your attention, is going to signal to both of you that this connection is important, that it deserves to be taken seriously, that it's not just a passing, interesting encounter, but something worth investing in for the long term. What I see developing between you and this high-profile person is a partnership. Maybe romantic, maybe professional, maybe somehow both at once, but a real partnership where you're each contributing something essential, where you're each made better by the other's presence, where the combination of your energies creates something neither of you could have created alone. That partnership is going to be powerful. It's going to be visible. People are going to notice the two of you together and feel the energy of what you're building, even if they can't fully understand it. They're going to recognize that this is something significant, something real, something that makes sense in a way they can feel, even if they can't articulate why. Here's what I also want you to know about the impact of this connection on your life overall. Everything around you is going to shift when this person enters. Not just your relationship with them specifically, but your entire life is going to reorganize around this new energy. Opportunities are going to multiply. Your confidence is going to increase steadily. Your vision for what's possible for you is going to expand beyond what you previously allowed yourself to dream. Your sense of who you are and what you deserve is going to clarify in ways it never has before. Your world is literally going to get bigger, more interesting, more full of potential. While this person is going to be the catalyst for a lot of that, the real transformation is happening within you. They're just the mirror that shows you what was always possible if you were willing to step into a bigger version of your own life. What I'm also picking up is that some people in your existing circle are going to react in unexpected ways to this development. Some are going to be genuinely thrilled for you. They're going to celebrate this new connection and cheer you on without hesitation. But others are going to reveal themselves through their reaction. Their jealousy or their skepticism or their passive-aggressive comments are going to show you something about the nature of those relationships that you needed to see clearly, something you may have sensed but never had confirmed before. That revelation, while possibly painful in the moment, is actually going to help you curate your circle more intentionally going forward. It's going to help you identify who's actually in your corner and who's been there for more complicated reasons all along. That clarity is going to be a blessing in its own right, even if it doesn't feel like one at first. Here's the most important thing I want you to carry with you from this reading. You are ready for this right now, as you are, not as a future, more polished version of yourself, not after you've achieved more or healed more or become something different than what you already are. Right now, in this exact version of yourself, dreamy heart and all, you are ready to be in the orbit of someone extraordinary. You are ready to hold your own in the presence of someone high profile. You are ready to receive this level of connection and opportunity and visibility. Without shrinking from it or being consumed by it, you are exactly enough, exactly qualified, exactly worthy. The universe has been waiting for you to believe that fully before sending this person your way. Here's the thing about high-profile encounters. They don't work for people who don't know their worth. They don't sustain for people who are easily intimidated or who lose themselves in the presence of someone impressive. They only work for people who are secure enough in their own identity to maintain their authenticity, even in the face of something extraordinary. You are that person. You've done the work to get there, even when no one was watching. You've healed enough. You've grown enough. You've built enough inner stability quietly over time in ways that are finally about to pay off. Now, the universe is sending you a test of that stability in the most exciting possible form. A high-profile person who's about to enter your life and invite you into a bigger, bolder, more extraordinary chapter of your story than you've lived before. Are you ready? I think you are. Very soon the universe is going to agree with me by delivering this remarkable individual directly into your world. Have you been feeling like someone significant is about to enter your life? Have you had any unexplained intuitive feelings about a major new connection coming your way? Have you been noticing signs that your world is about to expand in a significant, almost dizzying way? I want to hear about it. Drop a comment below and tell me what you've been experiencing, what you've been sensing in the quiet moments when no one else is around. If this reading gave you chills or made your heart race with excitement about what's coming, please subscribe for more intuitive guidance made specifically with your sign in mind. A high-profile person is about to enter your life. Your world is about to get significantly bigger. You are absolutely ready for everything that comes with it. Stay open, stay authentic, stay in your power, and get ready to be seen, truly seen by someone extraordinary.